If you want to win some free PSN or Xbox gift cards, all you gotta do is be subscribed to my channel, drop a like on this video, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Also, if you guys want to get your hands on some cheap Master Prestige accounts for any Call of Duty games, check out DigiZoni. The link will be down in the description, and make sure to use code GOBLIN. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a very good DLC weapon that got a buff in the last patch 1.25, which was actually a while ago now. It was back in August, but I wanted to get around to talking about this, playing with this gun, and you know, talking about all the stuff from this update and how this weapon was buffed. Hopefully you guys will drop a like on this thing. Let's go for 2,000 likes. That would be absolutely amazing if you guys could all drop a like on this video. 2,000 likes would mean the world to me. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as well. Let's talk about it. Now, this DLC weapon you'll see me use here is the AN-94 from Black Ops 2, aka the KVK-99M from Black Ops 3. It's a DLC weapon, of course. Now, the gameplays you're going to see here are me playing with this thing in free-for-all and search and destroy and other stuff, because that's what I've been playing to grind out my wins for my Grand Slam contract. But this gun, the buff revolves around one attachment, and that's why I'm going to give you guys the class setup that I use for this gun for more of a multiplayer game mode like Domination TDM, because of course, like I've said, the class setup I use in search and destroy and free-for-all in these gameplays here is different from the ideal class for other game modes, and that's why we're going to talk about, you know, both class setups here today. So let's get right into this. Let's talk about the buff. Now, the KVK-99M on patch 125 back in August had two things changed about it. The first one, firing sounds will now properly be silenced when using both the rapid fire and suppressor attachment. So there's basically some sort of a glitch where this gun was making too much noise, much like the MX Garand. You can hear it every time the ping goes anywhere, and I think there was something similar with this gun where it was making a bunch of noise, and you know, even when silenced it was sounding the same, and when it had rapid fire it was sounding super loud. So they fixed those, but those don't really affect, I mean, they do affect gameplay, but they don't affect your direct gameplay. They affect your enemy's perception of you. The next one is that they increased the 3-hit kill range with the long barrel attachment. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is the good buff, because that is absolutely huge. Long barrels and attachment I don't really use too often, but of course this gun was buffed only if you're using that attachment, and that's why I've designed this class setup around like my ACR or my ICR class setup, excuse me, based off long barrel, and it's a very, very strong class setup for Black Ops 3. So that's basically the buff that this thing got. The 3-hit kill range, which is very strong, and with that increase with long barrel, it seems like you can get 3-hit kills at a very long distance, which is what makes this very strong. Now, first of all, let's talk about this. I'm playing free-for-all. So the class setup I use for free-for-all is just very unique. It's just pretty simple stuff. It's just a fast mags as well as a quick draw, and then some attachments, awareness, dead silence, fast-handed scavenger. Now, the reason for that free-for-all class setup is because, number one, you don't really need long barrel when you're playing free-for-all on breach. So even though that's what the buff was, I wasn't using it in some of these gameplays. And of course, in free-for-all, I like to use my headset and to hear enemies, and that's why I run awareness as well as dead silence. But the class setup that I've created here, and the one that I was using when I'm playing on Nuketown, and I was playing in Domination and Demolition when it was the featured playlist last week before free-for-all became the featured playlist, is this AN-94 class setup, and I'm going to give it to you guys today. So the first thing about this gun is I think you need to run some sort of a sight on it. You don't need to, but I think that the default sight in BO2 it was okay. In this game it's a little more squished together. I mean, you can get away with it, and it's all up to personal preference, of course, but however, I would recommend running either a reflex sight on this thing or an ELO sight. Now, the reason why I like the red dot is because I've been playing Call of Duty for years, right? So I have sort of different attachments to these guns. Back in BO2 there was no ELO sight, so it was the red dot, and that's what I would use in BO2 on this gun, or I would use no scope. So that's why I would like it with the red dot. Of course, I would say either use reflex sight or ELO sight, whichever one you prefer on this gun would be the best, but I really don't like the default scope as much as I used to in BO2. As far as my attachment design on this gun, it's a pretty interesting setup. What I would run here is I have my first attachment on this class setup that I made is going to be stock. Now, the reason for stock is, of course, it's very strong on assault rifles, and while I wasn't able to put it on in my free-for-all game modes, you definitely need it when you're pairing it with long barrel and making those shots at a distance. That's why stock is going to go ahead and be my first attachment. Second attachment I'm going to put on is going to be the fast mags or extended mags. That's up to personal preference. Like the ELO and the red dot. I think that you need one of these because the reload time on this thing is pretty slow, to be honest, and that's why I would recommend either having extended mags and, you know, backing up to reload, or having fast mags and getting that fast reload off with this weapon. Those are what I would recommend. Third attachment here, or technically the fourth attachment because I have a sight on it, is of course going to be the long barrel. Long barrel is the attachment that does very well, and that allows you to play this class setup at the distance how I like to play, like my ICR class setup, which was a hit on my channel like last summer with like 800k views. So long barrel, stock, and then some sort of magazine, fast mag or extended mags, and that's what I put around it. Now, because you're decking out so many attachments and because you have that reflex sight on as well, you don't have much room for perks, which kind of sucks, but I feel like this is one of the guns that really needs attachments on it. It's not something like the Weevil where you can just have no attachments and just start destroying people, or like the M8A7. This thing needs attachments around it, and that's why I put those down. Now, as far as my perks, what I run are the same perks as my ICR class setup. I run one perk 1, which is going to be the Afterburner. Now, the reason why I run this is because I like to jump around with this thing. I like to play it at a distance, and I like to have that Afterburner. I think that it's really good to use, and it's just something that I've been in the mood of using a lot more lately, and that's why I definitely think you need Afterburner on this thing. As far as my perk 2s, I'm going to go ahead and run Fast Hands as well as Scavenger. I think both of those weapons, or both of those perks, excuse me, are needed to be used for this class setup. So that's the entire class setup here. I'll give it to you guys all at once right now. This is for, you know, your multiplayer game modes, your respawn game modes. AN94, aka the KVK, with a red dot, with a stock, with an extended mag, with a long barrel, Afterburner, Fast Hands, Scavenger. Really good class setup, and it's one that kind of does, I don't know if it's better than the ICR class setup. It's definitely different. The ICR is a more faster firing gun, when this one is a more hard hitting gun, and you can tell that, of course, with the long barrel, you're killing people at 3 bullets at quite long ranges. Now, how good is this KVK after the buff? Is this KVK one of the better assault rifles in the game? I think, yes, it is, to be honest. It's kind of surprising to say that because I never really thought it was that good of a gun, but after using this proper class setup and using it quite a bit, grinding these wins and stuff, this gun is probably one of the better assault rifles in the game. Is it a top 3 assault rifle? I don't think so, but I think it might squeak into the top 5 assault rifles, and that's including, you know, the base assault rifles, DLC assault rifles, everything there. I think that this gun definitely has a spot in this game, and just like the DLC lifecycle has been going, the later they're releasing the guns, the stronger they are. The first time we ever saw a DLC weapon that was very strong was probably the Peacekeeper, and then they kept on releasing, and we saw after that the DIY Renovator, which was, I was like, that's pretty good for a nail gun, even though the hit detection is kind of wonker. Then we saw the M16, and when the M16 came out and the PPSH, I was like, these guns are really good. Like, these guns can compete, M16 and PPSH. Then next we had was the KVK, which I was like, yeah, this is a pretty good gun. Of course, that was before they buffed it, because it came out and then they buffed it later. And then the last drop, we had the XMC. So I'm just excited for this next weapon drop, which will probably be coming here. Some people are saying, oh, there could be a weapon drop tomorrow. I highly doubt it because we didn't get an update today. I think tomorrow might be new weapons for like IW or MWR or something like that, but I don't think BO3 is going to get anything. I think BO3s will come more at the end of September or the start of October or something like that. And I'm pretty excited to see whatever weapon they bring back. Like I talked about in my video the other day, they're most likely like 90% bringing back a weapon from a previous Call of Duty game. And at this point in the game's life cycle, they really don't care. That weapon could be super duper overpowered. That's why I've been playing a lot more regularly lately, because I'm trying to grind out my Grand Slam. 125 wins is a lot of wins to get, and that's why I've been playing Search and Destroy with my buddies. I've been playing Free For All by myself and trying to grind out those wins, complete those wins, because I want to have that Grand Slam ready for when the new weapons come out. Because if you do, and if you have, I have all the weapons, I would just simply click X and I would be guaranteed the new weapon. It would make for an awesome video and awesome time. So I'm just going to keep grinding that Grand Slam. I recommend all you guys do the same if you guys haven't completed already. And one more thing I want to say here, guys, if you did make it to the end of the video, if you guys have a Grand Slam or you're really close to completing it, like if you're at like 120 wins or 124 wins, if you want me to go on your account and open the Grand Slam for you, finish the contract, like only the last couple wins, license and open it for a video, I would be more than willing to do so. Please tweet me on Twitter if you're on PS4 and you have an account that I could open the Grand Slam. Just tweet me on Twitter, and then we can work it out and all that sort of stuff. It would be awesome to make a video, and I can shout out your channel or whatever you guys want. So that's just something I want to say at the end. If you guys made it to the end, drop a like. Let's go for 2,000 likes. I'd really appreciate that. Sub for a cookie and don't looky, and I'm out. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.